Thoughtful Connections, a memory care podcast, aims to provide general information and insights about dementia and related topics. The content shared is not intended to be medical advice or a substitute for professional medical or clinical guidance. The purpose or goal of this podcast series is to help inform and educate family members considering memory care for a loved one. With us, as always, is Elizabeth Thompson, Arrow Senior Living Regional Director of Memory Care. Greetings, Elizabeth. It is wonderful to see you as always.
You too, Charlie. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. You know, when I saw today's topic, I thought we were going to discuss how to hold hands. You know, and just so you know, I have had considerable hand-holding experience.
Good to know.
and then I realized that you're going to explain the hand-under-hand method used in dementia care.
Yes, I am. And I'm really excited about this topic because it's this approach is simple and it's easy, but it's very powerful for both the person living with dementia and the caregiver.
Well, I believe we should start by asking the question, what is hand-under-hand method?
Okay. Hand under hand is an approach or method developed by Teepa Snow, which we've talked about her before. She's kind of the dementia guru. Love her. Went through her positive approach to care training. But it's a way of connecting physically that promotes safety, comfort, but then also cooperation. I like it too because it can protect you in situations where you're kind of unsure of the demeanor of the person that you're working with. But instead of grabbing or pulling someone's hands and forcing movement, we're guiding by placing our hand underneath theirs, letting them feel supported, but they also maintain that sense of control. So it's a partnership. It's not a power struggle. And it's the key to being a care partner instead of a caregiver.
That sounds like a winning scenario for sure. And so a partnership, not a power struggle. That shifts the mindset, doesn't it?
It does. It does.
And so what makes this technique so effective?
So think about the difference in when you offer your hand to someone or if you grab someone's hand. Mm-hmm. It's a totally different vibe.
Sure.
So this is safety. It promotes safety. With your hand under their hand, you can feel tension or hesitation, resistance if anything is starting to escalate. And also, if you offer your hand and they don't accept it, they're not ready for you to move further. Mm-hmm. Respect. It honors the person's autonomy. We're not taking over by grabbing their hand. We're offering ours. We're working together. This is a team effort. Also, it's great for nonverbal communication. When someone is no longer able to respond verbally, touch is a great way to connect. And so hand under hand provides that reassurance and grounding, which we've talked about grounding before too. The hand under hand also provides, it builds neural pathways of connection with that person. Also functional support. So when we talk about helping someone brush their teeth or helping someone even eat, when we're doing it hand under hand, I'm not grabbing their hand and forcing it to their mouth. My hand is under their hand, so I'm just guiding. And it makes it much more of a supportive stance than that I'm trying to take control and be forceful. So I think, support is another way that it is very beneficial too. So
a lot of emotional support too involved.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah. So it's not just for holding hands, but it's also what you described as a lot of daily tasks as well.
Yes, it's a gentle assist, a way for us to gently assist that person, and it promotes independence instead of taking their independence away, which they're already having so many things taken away from them. We want to, not only set them up for success, but focus on what abilities are still remaining. And sometimes with the hand under hand approach for feeding or helping to brush teeth, it's just a matter of doing it a few times and then they get it and they can do it themselves. Not always, but it certainly sets the stage for them to try it on their own in a very gentle way.
Sure. Okay. So let's walk through how a caregiver does hand under hand, and let's pretend that our listeners are hearing this in real time. Okay. And while they're standing next to their care partner.
Okay. So first of all, let's talk about standing in front of their person with dementia. We want to make sure that we are in a supportive stance, not a confrontational stance. So if I'm on your eye level, I'm going to be more supportive than if I'm standing above you. That seems more confrontational, like I'm going to tell you what to do. I'm above you. I'm an authority figure. I want to get down on your level. I'm your partner. So I'm going to get down on your level, make eye contact, smile, and I'm going to make sure that you are meeting my gaze, my eyes, and then I'm going to offer my hand with my palm up and just see if you take it. Most of the time they will, but if they're unsure or nervous or anxious, they're going to need more. So if they need more, that's okay. Put your hand down for a minute. Give them a compliment. Charlie, you look really nice today. That usually works because everybody likes to get a compliment. So then you're offering your hand again. When they put their hand in yours, gently slide your thumb alongside of their hand. And now you've got that gentle connection with them. Now you can move together because you've got your two fingers here, your thumb and your index finger that you can use for the toothbrush or the fork or whatever it may be, but you're still holding their hand. And so whether it's guiding the fork or even just simply helping them stand, you're there offering comfort and support.
Okay. All right. So all that sounds very simple, but it's also very meaningful, especially when you're having that contact.
Yeah.
Okay. So can you share a moment where you've seen hand under hand make a big difference?
Yeah. The magic of hand under hand is how it feels. It's respectful, it's calming, and it's very empowering for the person who's living with dementia. But I once worked with a gentleman who we just were really struggling to get him to brush his teeth. Caregivers tried all different things. I even tried putting keeping a toothbrush in my pocket, and I would try to demonstrate to see if I could get, my resident to do it as well. We switched up to using the hand under hand method, and he really just relaxed. I think the hand in hand gave him that supportive feeling, but also just a few motions of brushing the teeth, he was able to do it on his own. And so, to me, that's a huge win because, it took me helping him the first few times, but then he would get it and he could do it on his own with a little bit of guidance. And so same thing with eating or helping to feed someone. A lot of times it just takes a couple of motions and then they're like, oh, I got this. I can do it. So it creates trust, and that trust changes everything when you're working with someone who's living with dementia. You can't get anywhere without that trust. So
have the care partners in all of our communities been trained
Yes.
with this hand under hand?
Yes.
Okay. And are they acceptant of this? Do they really think this to be beneficial?
Yes, and it does take practice, just like anything else that we've talked about with dementia care. It does take practice. I know when I first started doing it, I practiced with my husband. But yes, I think that they see it makes a difference. When we come in with our agenda, we're not taking into consideration the person living with dementia, what they're thinking, going through, processing, any of it. We're just coming in and we're saying, let's go do this. It doesn't work that way. Someone is going to be much more likely to be compliant with me if I'm offering my hand instead of, saying, let's go, come on. It's just a very gentle approach.
It sounds like, again, we've talked about this before, but it's slower, more
Yes.
relaxed,
Yeah.
gentle, slow down, allow response time. It's just a whole different approach with memory care, isn't it?
It is.
And this is all part of the training regimen that new memory care folks or new care partners go through in all of the neighborhoods, right?
Yes. We put the focus on TIPA SNO's positive approach to care because the hand under hand is a part of that, but it's also talking about, that stance. Are we, confrontational stance? Or are we in supportive stance? Because we don't want to ever make the person living with dementia feel like we're trying to overpower or control them.
Have you ever had an instance or time that residents just reject the hand under hand? Is that something that's ever happened that you're aware of?
I'm just thinking in my past. I mean, maybe a bit in the beginning, but usually after I spend a little time with them chatting, they will eventually take my hand.
Okay. And it comes down to creating that trust, doesn't it?
Yeah. And that's where that smile comes in too.
Keep that. Well, I don't know that I've ever seen you without a smile, so I'm sure that makes it easier. So what you described, especially with the individual with the toothbrush, that was quite a change. And
oh yeah.
And sometimes even the smallest shifts can lead to biggest breakthroughs. It seems.
That's right.
So before we wrap up, do you have tips for caregivers, trying this for the first time? Again, it's like anything else, the first time seems to be the hardest time for a lot of folks.
Yes, I would say practice with somebody else first, so you can
like
kind
you
of
said,
get a feel of what that feels like.
With your husband.
Yeah.
And let me ask, was he receptive?
Well, I mean, he's always receptive when I'm trying something. he was like, okay, I got you.
Oh, not this again.
Yeah.
She's got to try something new on me.
I actually think in one of my trainings for to be certified through the TIPA SNO positive approach to care, I had to do a video. And I think I was feeding him cereal. It's been a long time ago, but yeah. So we've done that before.
Okay. Well, yeah, you've got a good person to work with there at home.
Yes, but definitely, go slow. Rushing is something that breaks trust. When you think about just from the very, very beginning of going up to their bedroom door or their apartment door, you're knocking, you're stating who you are, you're introducing yourself, because even if you're a family member, they may be confused when they first wake up. And so if you're going into their bedroom, hey, Dad, it's me, Elizabeth. You're greeting them, you're smiling, you're letting them know who you are. You're coming in slow, you're getting down on their level. You want to be a friend first. Before you try to tackle whatever is on your agenda, whether it's getting them up for the day or getting them to go to the bathroom, whatever it may be, you want to be a friend first. And remember that you're offering, you're not forcing the care. If they don't accept your hand, you've got that distance between your arm's length distance between you and them. And if they don't want to take your hand, that's a clue to they're not ready. So maybe you come back a little bit later.
Mm-hmm.
I'll give you a little bit of time to get up, Dad, and I'll be back in a minute. I love you. And then trying again a few minutes later. And a few minutes later can be 60 seconds. I mean, just leave and come back.
Like we talked about before, turn around.
Right.
Turn around, take a breath.
Yeah.
Take a couple of breaths, count to 10.
Count to 10.
Maybe,
yeah.
And then turn around and it may be completely different, right?
Right. So, a hand under hand and positive approach to care is, to me, it's like gold, because it's going to get you so much further in helping someone who's living with dementia, because it makes them feel like they're in control. We're still in control, but they feel like the one with the upper hand. And that's the most important part, that they have that trust.
Again, we're giving them preserving their dignity,
Yes,
their self-worth.
Absolutely.
And that's certainly the gold standard, again, from what you've discovered, right?
Yeah, yes,
And
definitely.
All right. So as we're wrapping this up, do you have any final thoughts that you'd like to share about the hand-under-hand approach?
It's all about building connection, trust, dignity, which you talked about, which are things every person deserves, no matter if they have dementia or not, and where they are on their dementia journey. So I think it's just a good reminder for us to take that time. It does seem a little awkward at first, but give it a try and see what kind of difference it makes for you.
And hopefully it'll make a big difference.
It should.
For both you as the caregiver and the individual living with dementia.
We talk about this a lot, but everything that we do and we talk about in these podcasts is to help not only the person who's living with dementia, but the caregivers.
Right.
We want to make their job easier, not harder. Mm-hmm. And some of these things seem like, well, that's going to take too long. But in the big picture of things, is it taking longer? Because if there's a power struggle from the get-go, how long is it going to take you to get them into the shower or to the bathroom or out of bed or whatever it may be? And then you're exhausted because you've had this struggle.
Right.
They're exhausted. The whole day is kind of blown at that point.
Yeah.
So it really doesn't take
you set the tone for the day. Maybe.
Yeah, you're setting the tone from the very beginning of the day is I'm here to work with you and help you.
Right. I think that's a great approach. Well, Elizabeth, thank you for explaining the hand-under-hand method. I think it's some great information.
Well, thanks for having me.
I look at this as just one more tool for the toolbox.
That's
we
right.
talk about that a lot, and here's one more tool to slip in your toolbox and
That's right.
pull out as needed. Right?
We need a bunch of tools.
You need
all
a lot
the
of
tools we can get.
As a caregiver, you can't have too many tools.
Nope.
I tell my wife that all the time.
Oh, Lord.
As far as out in my garage, I'm talking.
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
You're hoarding.
Again, I'll back to that. Again, thank you for all the great information.
Thanks, Charlie.
And thank you all for sharing your time with us. At Arrow Senior Living, we believe in the power of a chuckle, maintaining a childlike sense of wonder, and defending the dignity of others. Until next time, this is Charlie Johnson with Arrow's Thoughtful Connections, a memory care podcast, wishing you fond memories filled with moments of joy. And remember, if you've met one person with dementia, you've met one person with dementia.
You can find Thoughtful Connections, a memory care podcast, anywhere you listen to podcasts.